We're going to show you guys another video, and I want to introduce the video to you. We wanted to gauge the spiritual thoughts of our teenagers today, teenagers, young adults. We posted up on the campus of USC, somewhat incognito, to have conversations of spiritual things. What are your thoughts on spiritual life? Do you believe in God? What are your thoughts on that? And then we had a chance to talk with some coaches, huddle leaders, youth pastors, students who've been a part of FCA. And what you may see, what I'm praying that you see, will help you understand why what we do is so important. There are a lot of lost souls in this world, period. We get the luxury of doing ministry, boots on the ground in the high schools, middle schools, colleges. And our prayers that we will continue to build relationships with those who also have influence outside of those areas as well. We want to take this ministry and build bridges with our churches, build bridges with our community leaders. We want to be the hands and feet of Jesus. So I pray that after this video, it would just be a small snippet into what we do and why what we do is so important. As a former coach, teacher, and assistant principal, I've seen firsthand what many of our students are facing and the struggles that they're up against. Do you believe in God?
That's a question I like really have never felt like I have a prepared answer to, if that makes sense. Depends on the day.
That there is one true God and that God is the God that they speak of in the Bible?
I don't know. Like, I want to say yes, but I really don't know.
Many of our kids today, they're looking for hope, and they pull their hope and they pull their truths from the world. And we all know that their worldview is shaped by social media, is shaped by the music that they listen to, and also a lack of healthy community.
Village Church has had a relationship with Blythewood High School since the school opened. Yeah. Through my role as the last 3 years as being student pastor, I serve as a FCA advisor, a coach is what they call me, and so we're on campus every week for FCA.
I feel like a lot of religions kind of have a similar mindset as Christians. Like Muslims, it's Allah, I believe. I feel like they could all be talking about the same person, just in different terms.
I think there is a God. I think God exists. But I think everyone has their own, idea of what God is. But yeah, I kind of have like a belief that I'm comfortable with and what God is, and that gives me comfort and stuff.
You guys do believe in God?
I 100% do. Yeah, I've been on and off with that pretty much my whole childhood.
I think most of the time when we think of students, either they're all in or they're all out. Like, hey, either our students, they're on fire, they're in FCA, they're in our churches, or hey, they have nothing to do, they don't care about God. Hey, they have no background, or they're we use the word agnostic or atheist. I think so many of our students are now in that term that's been coined of none. They have no beliefs. Many of them believe, hey, there's a higher power. There's a creator, because they look around and they're beginning to realize, hey, this all just doesn't happen.
Yeah, I definitely think that there's a higher being. There's gotta be. It can't be just us. And I feel like to create something as beautiful as the planet and just the people that are here, there's definitely something more divine out there.
But they have essentially taken a step back and said, let us see how far this will go.
Yeah.
And basically said, let's let them have the free reins, and if whatever happens to them happens, and when our time comes, we'll come and see like their progress, see if they are able to be saved.
Even some of our students who may back away from the faith, they're not going to a situation where God doesn't exist. He exists. I just don't think he's relevant and active. Hey, there's some God probably out there, but he doesn't care about my life, and he's not living and active in what I do every day.
Like, what is true to you? Like, what is? Yeah.
Aside from those values, I don't know that there is a truth, not religiously at least.
I definitely build my life around my experiences and like what I've found to be true.
The Bible, what the Word says, and the truth of that.
I also believe in history, but I don't really have. I guess it's been so long since I've actually like read the Bible and everything to like pull parts from.
Well, with all these struggles that our kids are facing, many of them don't know where to put their hope. And for some, they feel like there is no hope. This worldview that many of our kids see today, it leads them to comparison, it leads them to isolation. And through that isolation, you see depression.
When I'm not, doing so good, a little depressed, I've thought in my head, I've talked, not obviously talked to God, but thought about him and hoping he has a plan for me.
So I definitely think the higher being is testing us here, I think.
I mean, I might as well, if I'm here, just try to do the best I can, have the most fun.
But I think as long as in this life, if you do good and you contribute and you help people, I like to think that would punch your ticket. Yeah.
And there's a lot of different ways that FCA can resolve some of these challenges that our kids are facing. But one of the best strategies that we have is ministering to and through the coaches.
Like anything, man, everything starts at home. And if that foundation wasn't poured into them at a young age, sometimes they're kind of lost and they're looking for guidance. They want structure. Young men, they want structure. They want discipline. They want organization. And sometimes the backgrounds that we get young men from, a lot of them come from single parent homes, and fatherless. Dads aren't in their lives. And, we find more young men that suffer from mental health issues, and it's that they won't release because they don't trust. And then when they have a spiritual leader who's pouring into them with the FCA program, they'll release. And then when they're able to talk, and they can be able to share some things with each other that they may not share with another teammate or with a coach, man, that's something special. So FCA's been great to us. It's been very consistent. We're very, very grateful for the relationships that we've built with FCA. And I think it's going to continue to grow and continue to blossom in our program.
The great quote from Billy Graham of a coach will influence somebody more than anybody. And so just helping our coaches get it, our students getting it is one thing, and that's our goal. But if our coaches get it, it changes the culture. It changes students' lives. And so us continuing to partner and say, all right, how do we reach coaches?
A coach's role in a student athlete's life is so great, and the impact is so great because of the relationships that are formed. You have some kids for 4 years, and you think about seeing a kid for 4 years, almost all year long.
And we get young men that, when they come here, man, they like, Coach, thank you, because no one has ever poured into me like this in terms of on the spiritual realm. That's winning. Yeah. We gonna win football games. That's how I feed my family. You gotta win football games. Yeah. But to see us win souls, now you're winning in the game of life. Because you're changing the lives and the trajectory of young men's lives by putting a firm foundation of God in their lives, man, at a very impressionable age, man. So FCA, Fellowship of Christian Athletes, man, it is what it is. It's fellowship, and And to be able to have the consistency from yourself and T. Rousey, who comes by on a weekly basis to have Bible study and devotion with our young men on a weekly basis. And he does it with the coaches on Wednesday, and he does it again on Friday nights when we're at home. Listen, man, I'm a firm believer in it.
One of the great things FCA's done for us is that, I walk in the door, and here we're thankful to have a great relationship here at Blythewood High School. But I walk into a school and go, "Hi, my name's Hamilton. I'm from Village Church. Hey, can I come on campus? Or can I, hey, I'd like to start a Bible study, or at lunch, that kind of thing." I get the skeptical look of, "All right, who are you?" Like, "Oh, you're somebody from a church who wants to come preach to our kids." It's automatically what comes in their mind. With our partnership, I'm able to walk in the door and go, "I'm Hamilton Mathis. I work at Village Church, and I'm a part of FCA." The moment I say those three letters of FCA, it opens up a door that so many of us aren't able to get because FCA has such a reputation.
We have a variety of ways that we meet these kids where they are, and FCA is one of the very few ministries that still have an opportunity to get into the schools and to share the gospel, share the love of Jesus in the schools, on the campuses, with coaches and with athletes. I heard a guy talk about being on a lawnmower, and you guys are cutting down the grass to allow everybody else to come along and get it done, for the kingdom. And so you guys are just cutting down those huge weeds and that tall grass that allows everybody and FCA to get into our schools and reach our students.
So that is why we do what we do. And I want to give a big thank you to Reed McCandles, who helped shoot that video. Reed, thank you so much. And to all the individuals that were part of that video. We shot we have hours worth of content just to let you guys know. We interviewed students who are a part of FCA huddles. And it was kind of interesting because we went to Blythewood, not thinking Jeff Scott, Blythewood. But we weren't thinking that at first, but the two ladies, I would like for y'all to stand, please. Amy Whitfield and Crystal Smith, I called your names out loud. Please stand. Yes. I'm recognizing them because they are two solid huddle leaders out at Blythewood High School. They started FCA at my high school at Fairfield Central when I was a student there. And they've been doing it that long. They had a heart for sharing God's love on the campus. And I wanted to recognize them because they are a part of that video that's about an hour long, as well as students who are involved in the huddles on that campus. And so I want everybody to understand we are so fortunate that we get to go into the schools and talk about Jesus on the campus. We don't have to wait till after school. We don't have to try to meet before school, lunchtime, football practice, basketball practice, baseball. We are doing ministry on the campus. All these directors and area reps are loving on coaches in such a way. And as you see, our strategy, the FCA strategy, is to and through the coach, because we know the impact of a coach. A coach doesn't just impact the players that he coaches. He or she impacts the entire school, the culture. I know firsthand as a coach, these kids look up to coaches. They do. And this ministry is so unique that we get to build that relationship with that coach, pour into that coach, and it's a blessing when you have coaches like ours from Benedict College who have the love of Jesus already in them and like swing their doors open and say, "Hey man, let's go. Let's do this." He's winning championships, but the biggest championship is that there are men and coaches who love Jesus now. That's the real win. And I'll tell you real quick, I coached 2 high school football teams in the state championship game. We lost both games back-to-back years, and all I can think of now is, how many kids did I lead to Jesus? I wasn't saved then, so I can't answer that question, but what God had put in my heart is, I need you now to understand the importance of your role. And through that, we are building disciples on the campus. We have an E3 model, an E3 discipleship program where we are discipling coaches, discipling athletes to make disciples. Now they get to go and make more disciples. That's what we get to do. So we have some new people here, some people who may not know a little bit about FCA. So let me just share real quick about the Midlands, and I'm gonna get out of the way because I know y'all don't wanna hear me talk all night. So FCA we're worldwide. Our vision is to see the world transformed for Jesus and by Jesus. And we are in all over the world. We actually have an international partner with Israel. And Israel now has 3 people on their staff, and we do monthly Zoom calls with them. We have teammates who have been out to Israel to spend time and to understand, to learn, to come back and build up more people to take over there to do more work for the kingdom. And then here in the U.S., we have 3 regions that we're broken up into. And of course, South Carolina serves in the South region. And then we break down into a smaller segment called the Carolinas region. And many of you know Kim Williams, who served in this role, is now our regional vice president for our Carolinas region. And then we break it down a little bit further to the Midlands FCA. Again, 15 counties, 86 high schools, 86 middle schools, 12 colleges and universities, thousands of student athletes, hundreds of coaches, and we get the luxury to build a relationship with them and share the love of Jesus. All we want to do is continue to serve, and we can't do any of that without the people in this room. So my prayer is that when our speaker comes up tonight to speak, that I know he's going to share his heart, and he has some very, very unique FCA stories because he's been a part of it on every level, and he'll get a chance to talk about that. But I truly thank y'all so much for being here, everybody. From our city officials to our volunteers, our city officials here, we have, this room is full of some really special people, and I'm so grateful to have all of you here. But again, I'm gonna get out of the way, and I'm gonna let our speaker come up and speak, but remember, we wanna meet people where they are. That doesn't just go for our staff. That should be our motto for everybody. We wanna meet people where they are and be the hands and feet of Jesus and let them see the love of Jesus in us, not just by what we say, but by what we do.